Gabna. The program will be broadcast live on the EKTV, Ekiti FM, Progress FM, Our People's FM, New Cruise FM, Voice FM, Adaba FM in Ondo State, and other broadcast stations in Ekiti. Those willing to call on the program can reach the governor on the GSM number 0813-013-2097. And Abia State Ministry of Environment has banned the use of styrofoam foils, popularly known as takeaway. The State Commissioner for Environment, Philemon Ogbonna, in a statement confirmed the development to the newsmen. He noted that takeaway had earlier been banned in some states, including Lagos, and therefore advised the public to immediately discontinue the use of the foils until investigations are fully carried out on the dangers of the product to public health. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says to deploy about 4,000 personnel for the conduct of Saturday's rerun polls and by-election for the state and federal constituencies in Kaduna State. The state resident electoral commissioner for INEC, Malam Aminu Idris, gave the information in Kaduna. Idris said the personnel would include 3,000 drawn from members of the National Youth Service Corps and 1,000 INEC members of staff. Meanwhile, Burkina Faso says it has received 25,000 tons of free wheat from Russia. Confirming the development, one minister called the delivery a priceless gift. Ties between Moscow and Ouagadougou have been strengthening since the military took power in two successive coups in 2022. And demonstrations are taking place across major cities in Kenya against the rising cases of femicide and other violence against women. Hundreds have gathered in Nairobi, Nakuru, Mombasa, Nyeri and Lodwar, some carrying placards with the names of those who were killed. A 2022 survey found at least 1 in 3 Kenyan women had endured physical violence at some point in their lives. In the meantime, South Korea's military says the North Korea has fired several cruise missiles in waters off its east coast. In recent months, the nuclear-armed communist state has tested missiles repeatedly, raising regional tension. The launch took place near the port of Sinpo. Neither the number nor type of missiles is clear yet. And U.S. President Joe Biden has said he backs a bipartisan Senate border deal that gives him powers to shut down the southern border when it becomes overwhelmed. Mr. Biden urged lawmakers to pass the deal, calling it the toughest and fairest set of reforms seen yet. The border deal faces objections from right and left. Meanwhile, a Russian man who boarded a flight from Denmark to Los Angeles without a ticket, passport or visa has been found guilty in a U.S. federal court of being a stowaway on an aircraft. Sergei Ojukava, 46, was convicted by a jury in a California court. Officials arrested Ojukava at the LA airport after they could not find any record of him being booked on a flight or of him applying for a visa. He has been in custody since November and faces up to 5 years in prison. In the meantime, Ukraine's security service says it has uncovered corruption in an arms purchase by the military worth about $40 million. The SBU said that 5 senior people in the defense ministry and an arms supplier were being investigated, emphasizing that the defense officials signed a contract for 100,000 mortar shells in August 2022. Corruption has been a major stumbling block in Ukraine's bid to join European Union. This is the broadcasting service of Ekiti State. For news, information or comments, send to bscsnewsroom@gmail.com. Voters in Finland are currently participating in a poll to elect a new president. The incumbent president, Sauli Niinistö, is ineligible to contest, having served 2 terms in office. About 4.5 million citizens are participating at the polls. 9 candidates are contesting for the presidency, including our former Prime Minister, Alexander Stubb. Meanwhile, beauty giant Avon has come under fire for maintaining links with Russia despite the ongoing war in Ukraine. Reports say the firm is still recruiting new sales agents in the country and continuing production in a huge plant in the Moscow region. Avon, which has its headquarters in the UK, started doing business in Russia 30 years ago. And Gadai police have seized suspected heroin worth in excess of 300,000 euros in Dublin. The drugs were found when uniformed officers searched an apartment in the Smithfield area of the city. The Garda spokesman said that a man in his 30s was arrested and being held at the Dublin Garda station. In the meantime, Qatar has accused Israel of not meeting its international obligation to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. Qatar's Minister of State for International Cooperation, Lolwa Rashid Al Khater, who made the accusation, said the country had been working as a mediator. It comes after UN's highest legal body recognized that the situation in Gaza is catastrophic. In another development, the world's largest cruise ship has set sail from Miami, Florida on its maiden voyage. The ship, owned by Royal Caribbean Group, has 20 decks and can house a maximum of 7,600 passengers. The vessel is going on a 7-day island-hopping voyage in the Caribbean. To sport news, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have reached the quarterfinals on the ongoing African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire after beating the indomitable Lions of Cameroon 2-0 in the round of 16 in the competition. Ademola Lookman scored twice for Nigeria in the game. The Super Eagles will now meet Angola on Friday by 6 in the evening in the quarterfinals. Angola had earlier beaten Namibia 3-0 before the Nigerian-Cameroon match. Meanwhile, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has given special praise to 5 Super Eagles players while reacting to Nigeria's 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON round of 16 victory against Cameroon last night. Sanwo-Olu, who watched the AFCON encounter on television in Lagos, also urged Osipasiro's side to keep the momentum forward as they qualified for the quarter-final. The governor, in a series of tweets via his X-Handle account after the game, emphasized that he totally enjoyed the Super Eagles' incredible display of teamwork and determination against the team from Cameroon. In the matches slated for today, Equatorial Guinea will meet Guinea, while Egypt will face DR Congo. Tomorrow, host Côte d'Ivoire will clash with Senegal. Cape Verde will take on Mauritania also tomorrow. Also, Barcelona's manager Javi Hernandez says he will leave the club at the end of the season. The decision came after Barcelona lost 5-3 to Villarreal at home. To end the world news, here again are the main points. We told you that hundreds have gathered in major cities of Kenya to protest against the rising cases of femicide and other violence against women. You also heard that Ukraine's security service has said that it has uncovered corruption in an arms purchase by the military worth about $40 million. It was in the bulletin that the world's largest cruise ship, owned by Royal Caribbean Group, has set sail from Miami, Florida on its maiden voyage. Lastly, on the world news, we told you that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have reached the quarterfinals of the ongoing African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire after beating the indomitable Lions of Cameroon 2-0 in the round of 16 of the competition. A message for you: let's support the security agencies to secure the nation. See something, say something. That's the world news as put together by the production team and edited by Kelechi David. I am Sholafumi Oguntuashe. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.